So watch me transform this beauty from start to finish. If this is what you would like to see, keep on watching. So please do not forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. So first thing first, I'm going to be cleaning up the face in order to remove dirt. Then I went ahead to hydrate the skin, allowed it to absorb into the skin before moving on to moisturizer. For moisturizer, I'm going to be using my Cetaphil moisturizer to moisturize the face. After moisturizing the face, I'm going to let it dry into the skin before moving on to primer. For primer, I'm going to be using this gentle tone of mattifying primer. I'm going to be applying it on her face, avoiding the areas underneath the eyes. So my client has an oily skin, that is why I'm applying the mattifying primer on her face, but I'm not going to be applying it on the areas underneath the eyes. I'm going to be skipping that part because if you mattify that place, it would look hard, and when you put on your product, you won't like the outcome. After that, I will allow it to dry. Moving on to foundation, I'm going to be mixing these two shades of foundation. This is Zika foundation in the shade 020 and 030. So I mixed these two colors together to get her skin match. And after that, I used my damp beauty sponge to blend the foundation into the skin. So after blending in the foundation, I'm going to be contouring her face with this Lip-Nubanbeauty concealer in the shade 048 to contour her face. After blending in the contour, I'm going to be applying my cream blush. I'm going to be using this Lip-Nubanbeauty cream blush. I'm going to be applying it above her cheekbone and a little bit on the tip of her nose. After applying it, I blended it immediately. So after that, moving on to highlight, I'm going to be highlighting the face with this milani concealer in the shade 160 to highlight the face. After highlighting the face, I'm going to be using my beauty sponge to blend the concealer on the highlighted area. After highlighting the face, next is to contour the nose with the same shade I used to contour the face. So I'm using a flat brush to apply it. Then I went ahead using my beauty sponge to blend so that there won't be any demarcation. So next is to set the concealer on the highlighted area. I'm going to be using my merak setting powder in the shade cinnamon. But before setting, I went back using my beauty sponge to blend the areas underneath the eyes to avoid creasing. After blending, I went ahead to set. I always like to be light-handed while setting, and make sure you set properly. There's no need packing too much setting powder. You set lightly and you set very well. And while you're setting, make sure your eyes are upward. This would enable you set properly to avoid, creasing. So after setting the concealer on the highlighted area, next is to set the rest of her face. I'm going to be using this shade here from my becharmn powder palette to set the rest of the face. So it's important to use the exact shade of your skin tone to set the rest of your face. Do not use a shade lighter or darker. Make sure the shade you're using matches with your skin tone. After that, moving on to dry contouring, which is low light contouring, I'm going to be mixing these two shades from the same powder palette to set the cream contour I applied earlier. After that, moving on to powder blush, I'm going to be using this shade here from my Tara blush palette and apply it above her cheekbone and a little bit on the tip of her nose. So after that, next is to contour her nose. I'm going to be mixing these two shades I mixed to contour the face, to contour the nose. After that, I'm going to be using my powder brush to blend everything together. After that, next I'm going to be setting the face with my Kiss Beauty spray. This will help to reduce the powder effect and also help the products that are applied absorb well into the skin, so that I allowed it to dry before moving on to baking. For baking, I used my Sacha Buttercup setting powder to bake. I would have used the same cinnamon setting powder to set, just that my cinnamon is already finished. That's why I'm using my Sacha Buttercup setting powder to set. You can use any lighter setting powder of your choice. So I decided to use Sacha Buttercup setting powder. After setting, moving on to the brows, I'm going to be using my spoolie brush to brush her brows first, and I went ahead with my brow tamer to lay the brows nicely. So after laying the brows nicely, I'm going to be doing the eyes. I'm going to be using my Carrot gel liner, the brown shade. I'm going to be using it as my eyeshadow base. I'm going to be applying it on her lid. After applying it, I'm going to be blending it immediately so that it doesn't get dry. If it gets dry, you will find it difficult to blend. So I used my eyeshadow blending brush to blend immediately after applying it. After that, I'm going to be doing the other eyes following the same method. So next, I'm going to be using this shade here from my Cali Cheek eyeshadow palette to blend out the eyeshadow. So after blending, I'm going to be using my glitter glue. I'm going to be applying it on the inner corner of her lid. So after applying my glitter glue, I'm going to be applying some pigment on her lid. So I'm going to gently place it on the inner corner of her lid. So after applying it, I'm going to be using this dark brown shade from my Kylie eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to apply it on the outer corner of her lid. So after that, next is to line her upper and lower lash line. I'm going to be using my Carrot gel liner, the black shade, to line her upper and lower lash line. So after that, next is to prep her natural lashes with my Zaron mascara in order to give it volume. Now it's time to draw the brows. I'm going to be using the same Carrot gel liner, the brown shade. I'm going to be using it with my angled brush to draw her brows, following the shape of her brows. After that, I went ahead to highlight the brows with the same concealer I used to highlight the face, to highlight the brows. So after highlighting, I'm going to be blending it immediately so that it doesn't get dry and look tacky. After blending, I'm going to be setting it with a lighter shade of powder. So after that, I went back with that eyeshadow blending brush I used to blend the eyeshadow. I went back using it to blend so that there won't be any demarcation. And after blending, I'm going to be doing the other eyes following the same method. These days I like to do my eyeshadow before I do the brows, and it's very easy, trust me. If you haven't done this process before, if you haven't done this method, just try it and thank me later. So after that, I'm going to be wearing her lashes from NG lashes, right? AG lashes, that's where I got it from. So I'm going to be wearing her this lashes. So moving on to the lip, I'm going to be using this lip pencil to outline the lip. My client wanted something very subtle on her lip. She was so particular about her lip color, and we're trying to get the one that she wanted. After that, I blended it immediately before applying this Lip-Nubanbeauty lip stain to brighten up the lip. So after applying it, I'm going to be blending it with my blending brush. So next, I went further applying this Lip-Nubanbeauty lip stain. I'm going to be using it to outline the lip again. So after that, I'm going to be prepping her lower lashes with the same Zaron mascara. So I'm going to be powdering her face again with my powder brush. So after that, I decided to do some finishing touches. I went back applying more contour on her contour area. Like I went back applying everything again and blending it properly as it should be. After that, I'm going to be doing the same thing on the nose. So next, I'm going to be mixing these two shades of powder from the same powder palette. I'm going to be applying it on the highlighted areas and also use it to dust off the excess powder on her face. So after that, I went back with the same contour brush. I went back to touch the places I contoured. After that, I'm going to be setting the face with my kissbeauty spray. After setting it, I'm going to allow it to dry into the skin. After that, I'm going to be using my Tehila blush and highlighter palette. I'm going to be mixing these together and apply it on the places I want the highlight to pop. After that, I'm going to be using my powder brush to blend everything together. After blending, I'm going to be using my Miss Metty cheek lid. I'm going to be applying it on the places I want the highlight to pop, which is her forehead, above her cheekbone, and the other places as well. After that, I went back with the contour brush. I went back using it to touch her face again, like properly touch everything again. And after that, I'm going to be setting the face with my kissbeauty spray. After setting it, I allowed it to dry. After drying, I sealed it up with this wet lock spray, and guys, we are done. So after spraying this, I'm going to allow it to absorb into the skin. And guys, this is the finished look. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.